Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. We are in Port Angeles, Washington, out on the coast. We're in the Viper 389. Last video I did it in kind of a vanilla profile, just to be safe. I had some crashes. Oh, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. And what else? Now this is, oh man, there've been so many additions to the game. They've added so many things lately. Past 6 months or so. I don't know how long this intermodal trailer has been available. I don't know if it's new to 1.35 or new to 1.34, but either way we got one. We got the monster 53-foot 4-axle. And right now we are fixing to go pick up a generator. Let me get a little GPS up here because we don't have one in dash. There we go. We're fixing to pick up a generator and take it to Seattle, but we're not taking it on the ferry. We're going to drive it around. Okay. Works for me. Works for me. Here we go. Let's put it in gear. Now, here we go. Oh, my goodness. Not off to a good start. But you know what? What can you do? What can you do? So, oh, turn left. I'll do it, buddy. You got it. So, last time around, what was that, Wednesday? I did have some struggles trying to get the video going for you. I had some crashes. I was having them at the same place, and when I looked in my crash log, I could see the sim calling for a file that had been moved. And I didn't know. I mean, I'd say all the time, if you want the game to run smooth, don't run mods. So it's not like I'm defending my mods. It was funny for me because I went on a thread and was trying to get some information on this, and immediately, like, the fanboys, they're all over you. It's your mods, it's your mods. Well, okay, yeah, it might be, but it might not be. Can we just, you know, can we just explore a little bit, maybe? So I was able to run with a vanilla profile, but then I went back in my good profile, the one that we're in right now. And I slept and went back to that same place and didn't have a crash. And in the meantime, there's been a small patch added to the game. So there will be bugs. And there will be problems with mods that aren't fixable. And there will be other problems with mods where they get patched up. They get brought up to 1.35. So, I don't know. This may hold together. It may not. But we're going to give it a try. Because I really like the Viper 389. You know I do. And I like having... all the Jazzy Cat packs have updated. So we have those on board now. Turn left. And, you know, one of the things that I saw in threads is I saw people sort of arguing about what constitutes a good mod. And some people were saying, well, if it's in the Steam Workshop, it's a good mod. Yeah, there's some logic to that. But then you have things like the Jazzy Cat packs that are not in the workshop. Does that mean they're not good? I mean, I guess if you want to apply a strict logic, yeah, they're not. Right? If we don't have the approval of the Steam Workshop guidelines, then no, that's not a good mod. Now, the question is, why are they not in the Steam Workshop? And from what I understand, the person who makes them, we'll call him Jazzy Cat, he just doesn't want them in there. Who knows why? Maybe he doesn't want them in there because they get bounced. Maybe he doesn't want them in there because he just doesn't like Steam. I have no idea. But for something like that, I think they're fine, but they are lacking that seal of approval. Okay, so if we're going to apply, like I said, that cold logic, then Jazzy Cat packs are no good because they don't have that testing.
And then turn right.
Fair enough. What about Pro Mods? Pro Mods isn't in the Steam store. You know,
right.
Is that an okay mod? Well, I think it has to be. I mean, they develop it with the cooperation of SCS.
You have arrived at your destination.
Route
guidance is now finished.
Right there. Get her now to neutral. Right, like so. Let's see what we got. We're picking up, what did I say? A generator. 31,000 pounds. That's not bad. And we are going to go around. There is a ferry across that we could take right here. I always think Seattle is further up. It's kind of in the center of the state rather than the far north corner. So anyway, we're going to drive down and around. So we will take the job, no options, and it's right there. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this third person. I'm in a third person state of mind. All right, all right. Oh dear. Hang on, before we hook it. Before we hook it, let's straighten her out. So I guess what I'm saying is you could go round and around about that all day. And on top of that, it's very often not a single mod, it's a mod conflict. You know, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. So for people to say, oh dear, okay, let me see if I can get this pivoted all the way around. Now I'm kind of curious if we can do this. I think we can. I think we can. So bottom line, it's different for everybody. It really is. And then, you know, how up to date is your DX11? How up to date is your BIOS? How, you know, it's absolutely different for everybody. So you can have somebody who's getting a repeatable crash, right? And it may very well be their fault. It may be the mods. It may be, you know, it may be a lot of things. But to see people come at it, sorry, I'm concentrating. To see people come at it so dogmatically, you know, with that, what I think of as a very harsh attitude. You know, it's all your fault. You screwed up. It's your mods. And, you know, to me, that doesn't really solve the problem. It doesn't bring us any closer to figuring out what the cause of this is. And what I like about forums in their best, I don't know, context or expression or whatever, is you go there and not only do you get some information about how to fix your problem, but maybe you offer somebody a little information about how to fix theirs. And, right? And now all of a sudden we're working together. We're a team. It's fantastic. I don't see that as often as I would like to on the internet. And you know my feelings about the internet. Get everything turned off here. Right, like so. Set the brake. Engine is off. Let's load up. You know my feelings about the internet. I think people are a-holes on the internet because they can be. No possibility of a punch in the face. Oh, that looks good on there. I like that. I like it. Right. Here we go. Lights on. Wipers on. Brake is off. Put her in gear. Hop in cab. How far we got to go? 176 miles. Won't take long. So that was one thing that was, I don't know. It's not frustrating. It's sort of funny. It's sort of, I don't know. It's sort of something. It's some kind of a thing. But we seem to be running okay now. And if I do get a crash in this video, I will simply...
Keep left, then turn left.
I will simply... Concentrating. Oh, we got it. I didn't need to drive in the woods quite as far as I did. And as always, if I jerk the camera around too much, I do apologize. I would never want to give you motion sickness. I would never want to give anybody motion sickness. What kind of a person would do that? Not me. Not me. Right, so let's get back down here, get a good gear. Here we go. The game looks great in DX11. I will say this 1,000 times. It really does. It's playing fast. It's playing smooth. The lighting looks better. Now, I did see in another thread that 1.35 is DX11 only, which I guess is safe because at this point, I think every machine that anybody is playing this sim on is running DX11. There aren't too many. You know what I mean? If you're running DX9, you ain't playing video games. So apparently, you always want to select DX11 when you fire up the game. So that is one thing. What else? There was some other piece of news, something. I can't remember. But I mean, it's early days. We'll get it sorted out. We'll get it sorted out, and I don't have any complaints. I'm not, even if there are day one crashes, it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. And I guess that's sort of the, sort of the fanboy. Oh, that is awesome! Do you see that little digital sign right there? That is new. That is that is so cool. It really is. And when you think about it, I mean, it's not complicated at all. All it's doing is taking the speed of the truck, which the sim obviously knows, and displaying it on a little thing there. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I said last video, I'm so pleased with SCS that they are continuing to make the game. They're not just dumping crap in and charging you $15. They're actually trying to make the game better. I really, really like that. So let me tie off fanboys, and we'll wrap up. So just for a minute, E3 is going on right now, and just for a minute, when the DLC dropped, whatever day that was, Tuesday, just for a minute, the Washington DLC for American Truck Sim was near the top of the most downloaded Steam items. And fanboys went absolutely effing ballistic. And we're essentially saying, see, I told you, it's the most popular game of the world. And, I appreciate your enthusiasm, I really do. But we got to keep our wits about us here. When you look at the Steam list, the numbers, at any given moment, there's 400,000 people playing Rainbow Six. There's 500,000 people playing PUBG. There's 500,000 people playing Counter-Strike, and there's a few thousand people playing American Truck Sim or Euro Truck Sim. And that's great, man. That's great. It really is. But to suggest that it is one of the most popular titles, it's just ludicrous, But to me, it speaks to the passion that people have for their favorite sim, and the fact that it's sort of it's almost like it blinds them to common sense and reality, and that's the rub for me when I interact with people that really like a video game or a sim. I feel like there's a disconnect there. There's definitely a disconnect. I saw somebody say in a thread that this game has never had a bug ever. All right. And I think we're done here. I think we don't need to talk anymore, because you're not making any sense, son. You're all mixed up. But either way, we get it running. We keep it running. Now, on another topic, I have made the mistake of beginning to get into modding in Farm Sim. I've done a couple things in Giants Editor. I'm becoming a little bit more adventurous, and it is just an absolute can of worms, man. Don't go in there. Don't even look in there. It is, oh man, it's like looking into the abyss. It's a time toilet is what it is. Like, I'm not busy enough. Now I'm gonna start trying to mod, and it's intimidating. It really is, because you look down the road, like as far as where modding can go, and you see the things that people are doing, and it's like, I want to do that. I would like to do that. And you think about how long it would take to build up that skill set to be able to do those things. Like, at this point, all I'm doing is making small changes and adjustments to other people's mods, and it's still mentally taxing. And I think somebody did this, like, to begin with, I'm messing with what they did, but they're the one that did it. That's amazing. And I don't know if you're taking this in as we're rolling here, but this DLC is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. SCS did such an amazing job with this.
Keep right.
I'm blown away. Blown away, I tells you. So yeah, that's one thing. And then I saw there was a mod that I was working with, and there was a little bracket. There was a little bracket that wasn't where I needed it to be for what I was trying to do. Converting this mod from 17 to 19. There was a piece that was on it in 17 that would no longer need to be on it in 19, because another piece would sort of superimpose over that. So I opened up Blender, and took a look at this thing, and then I just closed it again. You know what I mean? I just yeah, it's like it's hard to explain. It's like you're at an office party, you're at a Christmas party, and you're looking for the copier or something, and you open the door of an office and you see something you really didn't want to see. You just close the door and walk away like it never happened. Like it never happened. I didn't see that. I didn't see nothing. That was my experience with Blender yesterday. I've worked with Blender a little bit, but intimidating. It really is. And I have so much respect for people that can do that stuff. Hell yeah, I do. What else is going on? No word yet on Road to the Black Sea, but it should be soon. 1.35 is full release for ETS and ATS. Did I mention this is gorgeous? Are you seeing this? This is unbelievable. I'm just baffled with how good they've been able to make this game look. I said last video, it's like they've taken years off of the age of this game. It looked like a 10-year-old game a week ago. Now it looks like a 5-year-old game. It's not perfect. You know what I'm saying? It ain't The Witcher. But, God, it looks really, really good. And I will say again, well done, SCS. Kudos to you. So, I suspect that what they may be doing is just holding Road to the Black Sea a little bit because, people are on a budget. And I know... I know people that make a lot of money, and they're still cautious about things like spending $15 unexpectedly, because you know what I mean. You do it a little bit here, you do it a little bit there, and at the end of the year, you've spent like $2,000 or $3,000 that you weren't planning on spending. $15 doesn't matter to anybody. $3,000, you can do some things with that. So that $3,000 comes from 15 here and 15 there, and then for people that are on a tight budget, $15 is like, that's dinner for a few days. So I think what SCS may be doing is just spreading out the pain a little bit. So in another week or two, we'll have that next DLC so people can fit it in their budget and not feel like they're just being, you know what I mean? Just being beaten over the head with DLC. I'm also curious if there's going to be an ancillary DLC for ETS as there was for ATS. For ATS, it was the Forestry Machinery DLC. Curious if there will be a corresponding DLC like that for ETS as well. But either way, super excited. Just really pleased. And then the next big drop for me is going to be F1 2019, which will be in about 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, more or less 2 weeks. 3 weeks. Let's call it 3 weeks because it's the 6th. So we'll say the first week of July and it's the middle of June. So yeah, 3 weeks from now. But that'll be perfect because if there is a ETS DLC, it'll give me a chance to spread the pain out a little bit because I'm on a budget too. I really am. Save your money. SYM. There was a book that was written, I want to say turn of the last century, called Think and Grow Rich. And one of the things that the author talks about, and this is over 100 years ago, one of the things they talk about all the time is save your money. Save your money. So I'm a thrifty cat. I've got some bad habits and I've got some things that I spend way too much money on, but nevertheless, as often as possible, I do try to save my money. So that's what's going on there. Let's pass this truck. We got a little room here. Let's seize the opportunity. It does seem, I don't know if they did anything with warp. I know in the developer console there is a warp function, and it does something. It's not quite field of view, but it does do something with the way the world moves past you, and by adjusting it you can give the game kind of a different look as far as your perceived speed. And I feel like the game is, it doesn't feel slower, it feels a little bit more fluid, a little bit more stately. It's almost like they've it's almost like they found a way to visually give the truck more weight. And I know the physics are slightly different, but the way the world is moving past me and moving past the truck, it feels like there is more weight to the truck visually. I don't know how else to say it. It feels different, but it looks different too. It looks heavier. Is that a thing? That doesn't sound like that's a thing. That sounds like I just made that up. But I meant it. I may have made it up, but I was very sincere about it. So this is a good look and a good feel for the game. Very bland. Man, SES, they've really they turned the heat up. You know what I'm saying? They have they've upped their game.
Keep left.
For sure. It looks like the sun might come out here, which would be nice. Now, I have speculated, I've wondered about this repeatedly. I don't know if it's going to rain more in Seattle than it does in, say, Arizona. It should. It really, really should. But I don't know if there is a global rain probability and it's the same for all regions, or if it's regionally specific. It needs to be. If it's not, it needs to be. But it's been raining quite a bit up here in the Pacific Northwest, and that works for me just fine. I love it. I feel like it needs to rain up here in the same way that it needs to be hot and sunny in the desert. You know what I mean? Like when I see it raining in LA, I lived in LA for 3 years, and it rained, I don't know, maybe 5 times, and it was not much of a rain. Well, one of them was. One of them was like a Pacific storm, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? It does not rain. It does not rain in Los Angeles. It doesn't rain in Orange County. But in this game, it rains quite a bit. So I would like to see that adjusted so that even with your rain probability bumped up, that you rarely get rain in Southern California, Arizona, New Mexico, etc. But you get plenty of rain up here in the Pac Northwest. I think that'd be super, super cool. What else is going on? Gaming news. Yeah, I really don't have a lot for you. Just some games throughout the rest of the summer. I can't think of anything's coming in August off the top of my head. And I think I mentioned before that all those sort of lesser games that I've been eyeballing, they seem to be just kind of treading water. I don't know if we're ever going to see some of those, and that's fine. They're not super important to me anyway. But no release dates on any of those. Unexpected event on our route. You know what? If we tap M, it is essentially going to pause the game. So now I've noticed this too, and I really like this. It seems to have disruptions like, let's say there's one here, so you just go down and around. And it looks like whatever our obstruction is right here. So let's try just going down the ramp and around. The first implementation of this, I have to say, felt a little bit... it was like they told you there was a problem, but they didn't tell you what to do about it. They just said divert. Divert to where? You know, where is the problem? Where is whatever it is that we need to fix here? So it looks like, yeah, it looks like that's only closed to the other side of the ramp.
Recomputing.
Yes, this is what I'm after. Yeah. And I think as long as that other ramp is open, you know what I mean? I think that indicates that the highway is open. Can we see down there? Yeah, it's right under the bridge. Perfect. That, I think that's a really good implementation of that, because the idea that there is a problem,
turn left,
but they don't tell you where it is, and they don't tell you how to get around it. Like there's a problem 30 miles down the road. Well, how many exits do I need to skip? Where should I divert to? And without being able to see what the problem is, it's like you don't know where to go. So I think this is, it seems like they've tuned it up a bit, and I really like this. Right, 29 miles to go. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. And you know, I haven't had many crashes in ATS or ETS in a long time. I remember, I was probably a year ago, I was getting a ton of crashes, and that's always frustrating. You look in your log, you try to track it down. So it goes. So it goes. Are my lights on? They are. Bypass the way station. It feels like this game's getting busier too. Like it's giving you more to think about. Sort of taxing your brain a little bit. So, like a year ago, I was getting a bunch of crashes. It's very frustrating. You work through your log, you try to sort it out, right? And then for like well, I want to say about a year. For like a year, no crashes. And it was just so super cool. And I forgot that when you start, or at least when I start getting crashes, not here, not here, but the next one? Next one, okay. When you start getting crashes, or when I start getting crashes, I get a little bit almost skittish, if that makes sense. I do, and I get to the point where when the game doesn't crash, I feel almost relieved. And it won't last. You know, once we get some stability. Once we get some stability, and once the game, you know, works the kinks out from the new patch and the new DLC, everything will be fine. But for the moment, you know, if we make it all the way to this delivery, it's like, whew, we did it. And part of that is, uh-oh. This side? Yeah, oh, that's weird. Where's that one go? Oh, that's crazy. Where's that one go to? Was that drivable? Whoa, look at this, look at these roads. Holy smokes. This is crazy. I'm really impressed. I love it.
Then turn left.
Yeah, once you get some stability, it'll go away. But for now, the idea of trying to record this twice, it's really hard for me to record a video twice. And the reason is because honestly, I can't remember what I said. Oh dear. Now, I've also got a long train mod. And I have not tried it before, so I'm curious if it's running, and I'm going to go ahead and speculate that, oh no, maybe it's not. Yeah, this is supposed to give you trains of 50 plus cars. Right, so I'm waiting for this light to change, and then we'll go across. And I see Doc Brown there in the DeLorean. Oh dear, now we got gridlock. There we go. Here we go. So we go across here.
Keep left.
Not Doc
Then
Brown,
turn left.
just a regular DeLorean. So that's in the Jazzy Cat Classic Car Pack, not the, is it one of the Sissel packs? I think it must be.
Turn left.
He's a playful cat like that, giving you a little Back to the Future. Right, so we're going to turn here. And we're going into the port? We sure are. Intermodal terminal, damn straight. I feel like there's a little bit more specificity. Oh, that's a fun word to say. I feel like there's a little more specificity in the cargoes and where they're delivered to. I feel like SCS is tuning that up as well. If I sound like I am just gushing about SCS, I'm not. I don't typically gush. Where is this going? Somewhere over there. Can we get there around the back? Or do... Well, it's one way, so I guess we have to. Right, here we go. It sounds like I'm gushing about SCS. I'm not a gusher. I don't do that. But I'm just really, really impressed. I don't know if they got new management. I don't know if they got investors. I don't know what's going on over there, but they're giving it what for. I'll tell you. Right. This is it's a little tight.
Get ready to turn left.
All right. Yeah, it's a little tight through here, and the perspective is a little tricky. It's
Turn left.
turn left. Wow. I wouldn't say it's a whole new game, but there have really been some tweaks made. This just feels so different. Right.
You have arrived at your destination.
I see it.
Your route
I see it.
guidance is now finished.
All right. We want to put it in there. And this is, yeah, this looks like that long train mod. Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be, because there's the loco up there. Yeah, that's got to be. Okay, so it works. It works. Let's find a gear here. There's one. Do we want to? Yeah, let's do it. We've had such a good trip, and it's a Friday. Oh, not quite that close. We've had a good trip. It's a Friday. Let's end the week on a high note. All right. I don't like that my truck turns purple when it's cloudy. I've never liked that. All right. We can get it in one swing, maybe, maybe. Probably not. Maybe. No. Yeah, we'll need to straighten it out just a little bit. But not my worst effort. Now, I think Euro Truck is on sale. I think the game itself is on sale. Check Steam if... Well, I can't imagine that anybody would be watching this video if you didn't own ATS. But if you don't own it and you just like watching people play it, check it out on Steam. I think I saw that it's 75% off. And I cannot recommend this enough. They've really done some amazing things with it. Parking lights on. Set the brake. Wipers off. Off, I said. Engine off. Let's unload and see how we did. We are on time. We made a little bit of money. Beautiful. A little bit of XP. Ooh, it's going to take a while to max out. At that rate, it's going to take a while. But what a fantastic trip. What a great way to end the week. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. This is the 1.35 patch and the Washington DLC, and we will see you next time. Take care now.